してるより愛してることを伝え
Good morning, everybody. Ma Terry here, along with our fabulous co-star, Miss Lucy, and today we're going to talk about the stalker and how I avoided her, and some tips and tricks in case something like this happens to you. All right, Miss Lucy? Yeah, she wants to go up front. She's so anxious. Miss Karen's coming today. All right, hold on. So I'll give you a quick little recap. I have been down here at Cedar City and the elevation's 3,000 feet, and I had moved up to Bryan Head, which is absolutely beautiful. And, I noticed that my stalker was watching me, and I had a couple of choices. Did I want to come down the mountain to Cedar City to where it was 100 degrees at night? No, it was 100 degrees during the day, or stay up in Bryan Head, or I could have rented a hotel room. After all, that's what the emergencies fund is for. But I am stubborn. All right, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. In the military, I was a chaplain's assistant. Why was I given that job? Because of my personality. Of course, I'd be a chaplain's assistant. But at the same time, what they do is they cross-train you. So I had an awful lot of police training in the military, about 6 months of it. It's so funny. Chaplain's assistant during the day, cop by night. But and also, both my husbands really taught me really good defensive driving. And I'm going to show you one technique of defensive driving right now. I know an awful lot of tactical maneuvers. I used to be able to field strip a gun and a rifle. I used to make my own bullets, go skeet shooting. So Ma Terry's not a little wimp or anything. But let's say here's the cars, and this is you, and you're driving, and you don't know if you're being followed. What you can do, make a right turn, see who's behind you, make another right turn. Is anybody still following you? Make another right turn, you're back to your original street, and if no one's following you, you're safe to proceed. That's one of the little things that you can do. So let's talk about what she did. Now, if you remember, one morning I woke up and there were handprints all over my vehicle, and I found handprints on my gas tank, meaning she was trying to open that little gas tank door and do something to it, but it's really, unless you get a crowbar, you're not going to open that at all. But then I found myself up at Bryan Head, and I'm going to give you a little map. All right, here's the little map. Now here's the bathroom, and here's where our van was parked. Here's the lake, and my van was down here. And I know her pretty well. She watches people with binoculars. So she was up there for a while. She was trying to ascertain my van. Now, one of the things I did was, I'm trying to lose weight, is walk around the lake. And that's the lake right there. And, what I did was, this is my van right here. And all these guys, they were out fishing at the lake. And I said, guys, can you just watch my car while I walk around the lake? And they said, sure. It's so easy for me because when you're military, you make friends real easy. You see people in other military gear. Now, let me tell you how I noticed she was up at the bathroom, because normally I don't look around at my surroundings. All right, so this is where the cars are parked at. This is like a dirt road ATV, and this is the road. She actually was driving this way. She pulled off the road, and she pulled right at my van, and she stopped, and she was looking in my van. Now, how do I know she was looking in my van? And one of my viewers said, why do you have such dark window tinting? This is so black. It's a limousine tint. Why? Because I can look out my windows and I can see you during the day, but you can't see me. Another thing I've learned, yes. So she stopped and stared at me, and then she went up and perched herself up at the bathroom. To me, that's a threat. When you buzz my car and you want to know who's in that car, there's a problem. So how did I meet this woman, and how did I get to know her personality? And this is all in ascertaining the threat level. That was one threat right there, buzzing my car. But all right, so I got to know her because one day she found herself homeless, and she started living in a van. And, there's one Walmart in town in Cedar City, and she really liked Lucy. So I agreed to camp with her and show her how to set up the campsite and everything, how to cook with butane. I mean, she was just heating her cans of food out in the sun. That's not a really efficient way to do things. But, I tried for a couple of months to be her friend, and I noticed that she had one habit. It was, and you can do this if you want. Me, I have a life, but listening to NPR all day, politics. She was a 24-hour politic machine. And I tell my viewers, I'm a libertarian. I believe in small government, and I don't care what you believe in. I really don't. This is a free country. Believe in what you want. And I never discuss politics unless someone brings up a subject. And sorry, if you ask my opinion, you're going to get it. But usually it's more common sense not to discuss it. Well, one day she came up to me and drove up to me and said, I invited her, I was making a pot roast for dinner. Of course I was, and invited her for dinner at 5, but she just drove up and said, we can't be friends. We're too different. And okay, fine. I don't care. I'm very easygoing that way. So, but let's talk about what I learned from her when I was camping with her. Number one, I knew she was bipolar, and some days she was happy, and some days she just was not herself. She was very angry a lot. But that's not a threat. That's not a threat, okay? But she did have a lot of anger issues. And she told me she had an outstanding bench warrant for her arrest in a different city. She was physically violent with her ex-husband. That's why he's an ex-husband now. And her ex-husband, when they got a divorce, he was so generous. He said, you can stay in the house and he'll go rent something. She destroyed the house. Okay, so that lets me know if she's willing to destroy someone's generosity, my van is not safe at night. Also, she had said things that made me think she had a very sneaky personality, and don't trust her. I couldn't trust my van at night, so how am I going to outwit and outsmart her? So the first thing I did was, once she left, fine, she's gone. I was going to stay at the lake all day, but I noticed in the exact same spot that she was watching me at, a forest ranger or some sort of police person was up there. I think it was Game and Forest or whatever. So I walked up to his vehicle and I told him what went on, and he said, well, do you have her name? And I said yes, and he pulled up on his computer and said, oh yeah, we know all about her. And I said, unfortunately, I don't think she likes me anymore. And he goes, well, we're going to watch out for her, okay? And that was fine. So that was the first thing I had been doing. Now then, up in Bryan Head, there were 2 cell towers for T-Mobile, and T-Mobile decided they weren't going to have 1 cell tower. Hold on. Well, the cell tower was for Bear Flats. That's the BLM National Forest place that I like to camp at. It's beautiful. I've shown it in a couple of videos. And all right, so I have a Stalker, and now over where I'm camping at, I have no cell service. This is not going to work for me. Also, it was off season, and I had only noticed 2 cars within a couple of miles radius, so I'd be deserted out in the woods all alone. So it was time to put my stealth camping in action. So where did I stealth camp at? Well, there were a lot of condos, and since it was off season, there was plenty of parking in the parking lot. But I'm going to show you how I outwitted her. So it was about 10 o'clock at night, and that's finally when the sun went down. It stays dark out here. Can't wait for June 20th, right? Until the solstice or whatever. All right, so at 10 o'clock, what I did was, and she could be anywhere watching me with binoculars, right? And she knew I would have to pull into a camping location. So there's 2 places that we go to, Navajo Lodge for camping or Bear Flats, which was up there. What I decided to do was, okay, so at 10 o'clock, I got in my car and I drove around, and this isn't really to scale, around the bend, but once I made it around the bend, I pulled into the visitor center parking lot and turned off my lights and waited for her to drive by to Navajo Lodge, where she thought I would be camping at. And then once I saw a car pull into Navajo Lodge, a big van like she had, I pulled out of the visitor center and went back to my stealth camping spot over here. So this is what I did. Always be prepared, always be vigilant. Stuff like this happens. And believe it or not, she does not watch me on YouTube. She doesn't even know I have a YouTube channel. So yay! But unfortunately, I befriended the wrong type of person. And sometimes I do that. I just want to help you guys. So always remember, if you're in danger, find the police. Tell them what's happening. I mean, what else can you do, really? Get out of that situation of danger. Me, I'm a little too stubborn, and hey, $100 is $100 for a hotel room, right, Miss Lucy? All right, what are we going to say? Oh, she's so sleepy, but Miss Karen's coming. We will see you down the road. By the way, we are hiding out in a secret location right now. We just have a couple more days to do in Utah. Yeah, and then we get to go to Mesquite and have fun for a little while, and then off to San Diego. But yeah, I only spent the one night because it was 100 degrees during the day here, and it's been temperate. And soon, I know she doesn't even have the money to drive very far. Soon we'll be out of this area of town and safe to talk to you. Oh, I love you too, Miss Lucy. All right, have a good day, guys.
ことを伝える言葉がない